Good evening, everyone. I am Chinmay Khadke from India Meteorological Department, and I welcome you to this weekly weather discussion video. Here, we will be discussing the weather realized over last week and also the forecasted weather for upcoming 2 weeks. If we look at the weather systems that occurred during past week, there was one western disturbance that affected northwestern Indian states over 6th and 7th of April. Then there were three sizes, prominent sizes that were observed during past week. Initially, there was a sizer over the central parts of South Rajasthan. There was another sizer over northeast Bangladesh and adjoining Meghalaya. And there was the third sizer which covered areas over the northeastern Arabian Sea and the South Pakistan. Apart from these circulations, there were a couple of discontinuities, wind discontinuities or troughs that were observed over the central and southern peninsula. The first was over the central parts, that is from the central MP, Madhya Pradesh to the south of Tamil Nadu on 6th and 7th of April. Another discontinuity in the winds was observed from 8th to 12th of April from South Madhya Maharashtra to North Kerala. If we look at the rainfall distribution, mostly because of this wind discontinuity, the rainfall distribution you can see here on the left hand side image, it was mostly over the central parts and the southern peninsula. If we look at the heavy rainfall that was observed during this week, heavy rainfall occurred at isolated places over Odisha, Telangana and north interior Karnataka. If we look at the thunderstorms along with hailstorms occurred at isolated places over Madhya Maharashtra, over Telangana, over Odisha for 2 days each, and over western Rajasthan, Vidarbha as well as Marathwada. If we look at the temperature scenario, the highest maximum temperature of 43 degrees centigrade was recorded over a station Rajgarh in West Madhya Pradesh and over Jharsuguda in Odisha on 12th of April. The lowest minimum temperature was recorded at Karnal in Haryana on 8th of April. That was 12.1 degrees centigrade. Apart from this central and southern peninsular region, there was isolated rainfall activity over the northwestern states as well as the northeastern states. If we look at the weekly rainfall over this region, as we have discussed in the earlier slide, most of the rainfall was confined to the central and southern peninsula. So that the same thing is reflected here with 9 subdivisions of this area having large excess rainfall. And overall, if we look at the country, there were 18 subdivisions which had large deficient rainfall if we consider the past week. But if we consider the season as a whole, that is from 1st March to 12th of April, then only 1% of the entire India is having large deficient rainfall. Around 70% of the rainfall, around 70% of the country, that is 22 subdivisions over the India, is having large excess rainfall, as you can see in this figure. All these blue colored subdivisions are having large excess rainfall for season as a whole. Coming to the synoptic systems observed today, there are 2 cyclonic circulations, one over the southwest parts of the Rajasthan, another over the north Bangladesh. There is a wind discontinuity or trough that is observed from eastern Vidarbha to north coastal Karnataka. There is a WD that is likely to affect in coming days. So the clouding associated with WD is observed over this part. So if we look at the forecast for week 1, because of the WD as discussed in the earlier slide, light to moderate rainfall or fairly widespread rainfall with thunderstorm and lightning is very likely over Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit-Baltistan, and Muzaffarabad. And isolated to scattered rainfall with thunderstorm lightning is likely to occur over Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand during 15th to 19th April. Also, isolated rainfall is likely over Punjab and Haryana during 17th to 19th of April. Strong surface winds, that is 25 to 35 kmph, are very likely to be observed over Uttar Pradesh on 13th of April. If we look at the West India, mostly light to moderate isolated rainfall with thunderstorm activity is likely over Konkan, Goa, Madhya Maharashtra, and Marathwada during this week. Isolated hailstorm activity is also very likely over Madhya Maharashtra and Marathwada on 13th and over South Konkan on 14th of April. If we look at the Northeast India, light isolated to scattered rainfall is likely over Arunachal Pradesh during week and over Assam and Meghalaya during second half of this week. South India is likely to have light isolated rainfall with isolated thunderstorm activity over Kerala and Karnataka during the week and over coastal Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu during second half of the week. East India is not likely to have a significant weather during this week. However, light to isolated rainfall with thunderstorm activity is expected over Odisha during second half of the week. If we look at the weather warning maps for the next 5 days, in this particular slide, I am showing for the next 3 days. You can see the orange alert has been given for the Madhya Maharashtra for today and tomorrow, and for GWE, that is the Gangetic West Bengal, is given on the day 3. So orange alert that indicates be prepared has been given for this subdivisions for next 3 days. A watch is given, that is yellow alert is given for the subdivisions of Konkan and Goa, Marathwada, and the eastern subdivisions during day 1. For day 2 also the same, Konkan and Goa, Vidarbha, Marathwada, Telangana, coastal AP, Odisha, and GWB are having yellow alert, that is watch and be updated. Similarly, for day 3, the thunderstorms are likely to continue over this part of the central India, central and south peninsular India, and heat wave activity is likely over the eastern parts, that is these 3 subdivisions of eastern coast is likely to have heat wave activity over next 3 days. On day 3, Bihar is also likely to have higher temperatures. If we look at the day 4 and day 5, on day 4 again, the Madhya Maharashtra, Marathwada, Karnataka, and Kerala, this part is likely to have thunderstorms, and the eastern subdivisions of Bihar as well as GWB are likely to have warm temperatures. The similar structure distribution of thunderstorm is likely to occur on day 5 as well. Here on day 5, the northern states like Punjab, HP, Uttarakhand, and Jammu and Kashmir along with Leh are likely to face thunderstorms over this region. The eastern subdivisions will continue to have the warmer temperatures along with isolated heat waves. If we look at the forecast for next of the week 2, that is from 21st to 27th of April, because of western disturbance that is likely to affect this region, isolated to scattered rainfall with thunderstorm is likely over western Himalayan region and northeastern states during many days of the week. Due to trough or cyclonic circulation, isolated to scattered rainfall with thunderstorm is likely over many parts of the South Peninsula and Central India during many days of the week. Overall rainfall activity is likely to be above normal over Northwest, as well as the central and south peninsular India, and below normal over the northeastern states for week 2. If we look at the forecast for next 2 weeks of maximum temperatures are likely to be above normal by 3 to 5 degrees over Northeast India, West Bengal and Sikkim, Odisha, coastal Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh during most of the days of the week. Heat wave conditions are very likely in isolated pockets over GWB, that is Gangetic West Bengal, during 13th to 17th, over North Coastal Andhra Pradesh and Odisha during 13th to 15th of April, and over Bihar during 15th to 17th of April. Maximum temperature for week 2, if we look at the maximum temperatures, they are likely to fall gradually by 2 to 3 degrees centigrade over most of the parts of the country as compared to week 1. However, isolated heat wave conditions are likely over parts of Bihar, West Bengal, Odisha, and North Coastal Andhra Pradesh during some days of the week 2. If we look at the cyclogenesis forecast for next 2 weeks, as you can see here, for next 2 weeks, considering the environmental features and model guidance, there is no likely cyclogenesis to happen or to occur over the North Indian Ocean region during next 2 weeks. So thank you for listening to this video. We are having our Android and iOS apps, so do make use of our apps from Android as well as iOS. Do visit our websites, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our blogs, as well as our YouTube channel. That is all from my side. Thank you.